Alright, 2024 is officially upon us. Hope you had a very fun, safe, and happy new year. And I hope you're all in the process of correcting yourselves from writing the year 2023 into 2024. It's very hard to correct this one. You can't really shape it 3 into a 4. That's what I'm learning the hard way right now. But with the new year comes new excitement, new movies, and I am here to give you guys my list for the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2024. This is always one of the tougher lists to make because generally it's never 10 movies that I'm excited for. Generally there's quite a few movies that I'm excited for. I try to whittle it down to the ones that I'm either the most excited for and or I have the most confidence in. Like I said, I have no idea how these movies are going to turn out. They can end up being horrible. They can end up all being excellent. This is not a preview for my top 10 best list is going to be. I would love it if at least a few of these movies could find their way onto there, but we have no idea. That's the beauty of the future. It's unknown. But with all that being said, let's talk about what I am most excited for this year when it comes to movies. Starting with this at number 10 is the earliest of releases among the movies that are on this list, and that is Argyle. Matthew Vaughn, admittedly, he's been a little bit hit and miss as a director, but when it's a hit, he knocks it all the way out of the fucking park. I mean, Kick-Ass, X-Men First Class, especially Kingsman: The Secret Service. And I really feel like that spy action movie genre is the genre he really wants to stay in. I know he tried to turn Kingsman into a franchise. It didn't really work out that way. But this trailer for Argyle, it feels like it's him going back into those roots. It feels like he's trying to recapture what made the first Kingsman he directed so good. I really love the cast here. I think it's a very unique story about this spy author who's accidentally able to predict what actually happens in the spy world. So all these different spies are coming after her to essentially finish their story. It looks fun. It looks exciting. It looks like a great time at the movies, and that's all I could hope for. Number 9 is a movie that not only I'm really hoping pulls through, but the child in me is really hoping pulls through, and that's Transformers 1. Alright, the live-action Transformers movies, some people enjoy them, some people hate them. We haven't gotten anything that's truly great, that's for sure. However, I think this movie has the potential to be that because, one, I gotta say, I love that this movie is going to be an animation. It's also meant to serve as sort of a prequel to the live-action Transformers movies we have gotten. I guess it takes place around the war for Cybertron. It's supposed to take place specifically on Cybertron. I think that's a great thing. Number 1, when it comes to animation, I think the Spider-Verse movies are really showing us exactly just how much we can capture with animation. Not everything has to be CGI and live action. You can make a truly captivating and amazing animated movie. The cast has been really hyping up the animation. I know the director behind Toy Story 4 is directing this movie, and he's also been involved with a lot of the Disney Pixar movies. So you have a director who knows what it takes to make a great animation. It's got a really star-studded voice cast for it, although I will say it's gonna feel very weird hearing Optimus Prime not being voiced by Peter Cullen. I'm really holding out hope for a great Transformers movie. I really hope this can be the one. Also, as of right now, this movie is getting released the weekend of my birthday. Well, I know what I'm doing for year 31. Number 8 is a movie that I am very, very, very interested in, but I'm also kind of intimidated by too, and that's Civil War. Why am I intimidated by it? Because Civil War feels like a movie inspired by events that are going to happen. Just go to social media, everyone is completely at war with whatever political side they are not on. I mean, if you're on the right, people hate you. If you're on the left, people hate you. If you're moderate, you're a coward and people hate you for that. And this feels like a movie depicting the future of what's going to happen because of that. That we are going to enter as a country a second civil war because people just so hate people on the other side of the aisle. As a result of that, I could see myself watching the movie and being disturbed by it and being afraid of what is to come because of just where everybody's at from a political standpoint. Seriously, back in the day, it didn't fucking matter who you voted for. Now, whoever you voted for, you're seen as a piece of shit for it. As a result, I will be very interested in seeing how each side of the aisle views this movie. I'm also going to be interested if this movie panders to either side in particular. I really hope it doesn't do that. I hope it really shows the problems each side has and why ultimately both sides could very well be responsible for a war like this happening. I feel like it's going to be a very real, disturbing, unsettling, potentially future predicting action movie. I'm going into this movie extremely interested to see how it tackles such a premise, and I find myself walking out feeling a little bit disturbed, uneasy, but I'm also hoping it's great. Alright, next at number 7, we have Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I absolutely love the rebooted Planet of the Apes trilogy we got. Rise, Dawn, War. I think it's one of the best trilogies ever. And my understanding is this movie is meant to be a follow-up to those movies. I believe it takes place around 300 years after the events of War for the Planet of the Apes. The trailer looks very interesting. Visually, everything still looks good. I'm interested in seeing where apes are at this point, where humans are at this point. It's directed by the guy who directed the first Maze Runner. Actually, I believe it's the guy who directed all the Maze Runner movies. I admittedly wasn't a big fan of any of those, so I do go into this one a little bit cautiously optimistic, but if they can just somewhat recapture the magic from the first 3 movies, I think this could still be a hit. Next up, we have Furiosa. George Miller, I mean, the Mad Max franchise, this is his baby right here. He crushes these movies. He so cares about these movies. Mad Max Fury Road, I still say is one of the best action movies I've ever seen. It was a great theatrical experience, and I know for a long time they've been trying to make a standalone prequel movie about Charlize Theron's character Furiosa. Except in this movie, she's going to be played by Anya Taylor-Joy. I think Anya Taylor-Joy is a phenomenal actress. Chris Hemsworth is in this movie. I don't know what character he's playing, but I'm excited to see him in an action movie. He's really become a great action star between being Thor in the MCU and the Extraction movies. I hope this movie follows the same format that the Mad Max movies have really gone for. They're not very visual CGI movies. They're very practical effects, real explosions, real cars. I have such an appreciation for movies that are able to do that. I really hope we get another thrilling action movie and a great new entry into the Mad Max franchise here. Number 5 is a movie that I admittedly know very little about, folks, but Mickeey 17 has to be on here. Why is that? Bong Joon-ho, the director of Parasite, is the director, and Robert Pattinson is the leading man. I mean, I don't see how that combination isn't amazing. Bong Joon-ho, I didn't really know much about him before Parasite. After watching Parasite, although I don't think Parasite is the greatest movie ever made, like some people do, it's a fucking great one. And Robert Pattinson has just really ascended past those shitty Twilight movies. Now he's Batman. He crushed it as Batman. Again, I know nothing else about this movie. My understanding is it's a sci-fi dystopian sort of movie, I think. But when you got 2 people involved in filmmaking that I have a lot of confidence in, I have faith this movie's gonna crush it. Number 4, we have Joker Filet à Deux. I think that's how you say it, which I think translates into Madness for 2. I absolutely loved Joker. It was fantastic. It was awesome. It made you feel a type of way. I understand for some people it's a little uncomfortable, but I just think that means the movie did its job. Joaquin Phoenix gave the performance of a lifetime. Todd Phillips' direction in this movie was just great. And it made over $1 billion at the box office as an R-rated movie. A sequel was just inevitable at that point. I'm very excited to see Lady Gaga in the role of Harley Quinn. I'm excited to see her chemistry with Joaquin Phoenix. Where I do have a little bit of hesitation toward this movie, however, though, is I guess it's supposed to be a musical, which seems kind of weird. But Lady Gaga is a spectacular singer. She's also a great actress, so I'm hoping in a situation like that, it will work. Todd Phillips also admittedly does not have a great track record with sequels. I mean, The Hangover 2 and 3, neither were anywhere close to the first one. But Joaquin Phoenix is very particular with his scripts and with projects he's a part of. I really don't think he would have come back to this if he didn't believe in the story for this movie. So here's hoping Joker 2 can at least be a worthy sequel. Next up, we have what is apparently Robert Eggers' passion project, and that is Nosferatu. I admittedly did not get on the Robert Eggers train until a couple years ago. I saw The Northman. I thought The Northman was excellent. I still haven't seen The Witch, but I did finally watch The Lighthouse for the first time ever a few months back. I thought that movie was great. And Robert Eggers has said this is the movie he's always wanted to make, he's always wanted to direct. It was just gonna take him time to get there. I love hearing that from really great directors out there, how they have these passion projects, they have these movies that they just dream about making their entire life, and they finally get the chance to do so. Robert Eggers is finally gonna get to do that here, and I really think this has potential to be something really special. I mean, just listen to the cast in this movie. Bill Skarsgård, Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Willem Dafoe. I'm sure it's gonna have a very gothic horror vibe to it, and admittedly I'm not the biggest horror movie fan, but it just sounds like the perfect Robert Eggers movie. And let's face it, we haven't had a great vampire movie and I don't even know how long it's been. So yeah, I'm really pulling for Robert Eggers this one. I really hope his passion project turns into something incredible. At number 2 is the movie that I thought was going to be my number 1 for the longest time. It got bumped down due to some circumstances, but Deadpool 3 is absolutely on this list and high up there. I get it, the MCU, it hasn't had a great track record as of late. It's had some really bad bumps in the road. But I'll tell you right now, if any movie is going to save it, it's going to be Deadpool 3. Ryan Reynolds is spectacular as Deadpool. This is the role he was born to play. Nobody else in the world could play Deadpool. He really loves this character. He's passionate about this character. I know this is a movie that's taken a while to be made, but it's finally happening. The first two Deadpools are fucking awesome. I love those movies. I'm so glad that Hugh Jackman has decided to come back as Wolverine for this. I understand Logan felt like the perfect send-off, but again, I don't think he would come back to this to play a character that he loves as much as Ryan Reynolds loves his if he didn't believe the story was great. I think Sean Levy is the perfect director for this movie. He's worked with both these leads on many, many occasions. He knows exactly what they both need to make a great movie. It's going to be rated R. It's going to involve, I think, characters from the Fox movies. I see a lot of fourth wall breaking in this. I would also really love if the MCU took a step back and made fun of itself through Deadpool. I mean, come on, you can see Deadpool bringing up all the flops they've had, all the mistakes they've made. That would be funny. I like when studios have self-awareness. I will also say this much, though. If this movie fails, the MCU is probably dead. So, yeah, God willing, this movie can bring the MCU back to life. And finally, my number one most anticipated movie of 2024 is what was my number one most anticipated movie of 2023 and got pushed to this year due to the writer's strike. That is Dune Part 2. I know, I'm probably cheating a little bit. I'm being redundant a little bit, but I mean, I can't not have Dune Part 2 on this list again. And frankly, my excitement for this movie has only gotten bigger and bigger and bigger since this movie was announced. I loved the first Dune. I was so on the edge of my seat with the way it ended. I wanted to see where all these characters were going to pick up. I love the additional cast members that have been brought into this movie. I'm excited to see their characters. And more so than that, I believe when I first, talked about Dune Part 2 in my anticipation list last year, I don't think we got any trailers for the movie. Now the movie's had a few trailers. I see what it looks like, and I gotta tell you, every trailer I have seen, every single time I have seen it, I just get chills everywhere. I think this is going to be the cinematic event of a lifetime. I think it's going to be an absolutely spectacular movie. I can't wait to just have both of them and just get lost into this world. I really hope they do an IMAX double feature for both movies. It's the only way to experience this event. Denis Villeneuve, this is the movie he's wanted to make his entire life. This is really the second half of one movie, and I'm so disappointed that it got delayed last year due to the strike, but I'm so glad it's happening this year, and early enough in this year that I don't have to wait forever for it. I think this has the potential to be all-time great, and therefore Dune Part 2, once again, is my most anticipated movie of 2024. So there it is, guys. That is my list for the top 10 most anticipated movies of 2024. One other movie that I want to mention briefly is The Movie Critic, which is supposed to be the 10th and final movie directed by Quentin Tarantino, also written by him. I believe it was his intention to release it this year, but due to the strike, I think production had to be set back. So, to my knowledge, I think it's now going to get released next year. But on the off chance, very minimal off chance, that it gets released this year, well, it would have been on this list. It would have been high up on this list. But since it's not confirmed, I can't put it on this list. So, yeah, I guess it's the one time I will put an honorable mention on a top 10 list. I know, couldn't not talk about that on the off chance, again, that it gets released this year. Probably not. But who knows? But with all that being said, thank you guys very much for watching my video. Don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know the movies that you're most excited for this year. And yeah, can't wait to get this year underway with you guys. Got a lot of movies to review, so let's keep this channel rolling. Until then, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all next time.